When your ex realizes or believes that you're really gone, a lot can happen in their mind and in their heart. It doesn't always work this way, but when it does, it can be an incredible thing to behold, especially if you're in the position where you think they've broken up with me, they don't want a future with me, they're not interested in me anymore, they're just living their life in happiness without me. When that moment comes and your ex thinks that you are not an option for them anymore, that's when taking you for granted ends. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Number one, your ex expected a window, not a wall. Basically, your ex thought that there would be this stretch of time where they could just live in the breakup. And if they changed their mind, that they could come back and you would want to get back together, that would just be something you would immediately accept, and that they know that they have it in their pocket. You will take them back. And they operate with this knowledge by exploring their freedom, by having a really easy experience with separation from you and the difficulty and anxiety that can come from that. But if they think you are constantly available as an option, you're the backup plan, they can get you back whenever they want, but they're just going to see what's out here. They're going to explore. They're going to enjoy this near worship that often they are given after a breakup. And you may have done that and you may regret some of that. But all of these things causes them to believe that they have a long window, a wide open window, that they can come back to you. You will gladly take them back. As a matter of fact, you'll think that it's a wonderful thing and it just will completely make your life again. But when they can start to have some doubt that that's reality, and no contact is what really sets the foundation for that. But when they can have that doubt, that's when things can change. And so often I have to tell people, stop reassuring them, because oftentimes the person who has been dumped takes it on themselves to reassure the person who has broken up with them that they do still love them, that they want them back, that they will take them back. They're willing to talk. They want them to know this. And you think, well, that makes sense, because if they do change their mind, I want them to know there's a clear path to me, that I will talk to them. But the thing is, usually they know that, and they don't just know it. They actually believe it's a lot easier for them than it really is, or at least than it should be, because when someone breaks up with you, you really should step back and have some doubt about them, that they will just leave when it's not as exciting, that they will stop working. They're not going to try to see if this relationship can make it. If I put some more work into it, they're just going to abandon you and leave and trash all the memories, the history, the words that were spoken between the two of you, the experiences you had together. You want more than that. And so really, they don't understand that eventually you're going to reach a point where you say, I have waited long enough for this person. And when they start to think about that and realize that and be worried about that, that's when things can really change. They will not be drawn back to you by being reassured that you are available, that they can get you back, that you will take them back. If anything, that just gives them a longer leash where they are enabled to continue with the breakup, because there are no consequences. And when there's no consequences, you don't have to consider your actions. You can just do whatever and it won't matter. You don't have to worry about how it impacts you tomorrow. And that's what you're doing when you reach out and tell them, if you want to talk, I'm here, or want you to know how much I miss you, or I still love you, or anything like that. Once they've broken up with you and you have objected, you have told them you don't want it, you shouldn't do any more than that. They need to actually have some doubts and wonder if you're still feeling that way and if you still want them back. Let them begin to be concerned and worry and ask themselves, have I waited too long, or have I blown it with this person by breaking up with them? It's a beautiful thing when they have to realize that their actions could lead to consequences they don't want. Number 2, relief can't last that long. And a lot of people don't understand that just because you're not hearing from them, it doesn't mean they are still in relief. That's a stage that I talk about in my video, stages your ex goes through during no contact. And relief is usually the first stage they go into. Sometimes it takes a few days, maybe even a couple of weeks for them to get there, because they feel bad about the situation. They still have some lingering doubts. They're worried about you and how hurt you are, things like that. And so once they get past the breakup and they find their center, so to speak, where they can get past that moment and now they're just looking to life going forward, that's when they can feel some relief and they can start to go through some of these stages. But relief can't last forever, simply because at some point, unless you two had a very bad relationship, they're going to miss you. They're going to reflect. They're going to notice that that emotional intimacy that they had with you does not exist in their life anymore. And that's where they can go into these other stages, or they might even try to keep some sort of conversation going with you where they're just checking on you. And maybe they pretend that the two of you can just be friends and check in with each other without bringing romance into it. They might try all these things when they first start to feel some of that separation anxiety. The best thing for you to do is not bite on it. You be friendly, you respond, but you don't carry the conversation. You don't suggest getting back together. You don't act like you think that just because they're contacting you that they want to get back together, because if you do that, they will be afraid to contact you. They won't want to lead you on. And by lead you on, that's a term, at least in the United States, we use the term lead you on to refer to when someone contacts you and you start thinking, oh, we're going to get back together now. I know things are going to work out perfectly now that you've contacted me. We are back together. If you let them think that's how them contacting you is going to impact you, they will likely stop doing it because they won't want to lead you on, especially at this early stage in the game where they're just out of relief and maybe they're into curiosity. They might reach out for fact finding, but they certainly don't want to risk leading you on because they don't want to give you false hope, because at this moment they're still thinking they probably want the breakup. And they don't want you to act like the two of you are back together and that you start contacting them and all that, because even though the silence makes them curious, that doesn't mean that they want to hear from you a lot. The human mind is an interesting thing. And sometimes what intrigues us is not necessarily what we want. And the reason I say that is because many times people doubt the power of silence. But it is incredible when you just have confidence in it and you choose to let the silence speak for you. So relief can't last forever. They are not going to stay in that stage permanently. They will move on from it, and they will move into curiosity, and hopefully they will move into concern. A lot of this depends on not just you being in no contact, but the quality of the relationship and who they are as a person, because some people are just immature. Some people are addicted to limerence, which is the newness of a relationship. And so they just constantly try to find that high with someone, and they go from high to high. And when those fireworks go away, well, they just go to the next person. Obviously, you cannot recreate this person. You can't make them into the person that they should be or that you want them to be. You are dealing with who they are. And all you can do is be who you are, at least who you want to be and who you strive to be. And that should be someone who preserves their own dignity, who does not chase when someone is trying to leave you and break up with you and doesn't even want to try to work on the relationship. So trust that just because you're not hearing from them does not mean that they are not having any difficulty. A lot of times, they are either not confident that you will stay in silence and they think you'll reach out to them, or they're trying to fill that void that you left behind with something or someone else. And a lot of times it's just friends, but they can also try to date. They can get on dating apps, things like that. Don't let that concern you too much. And I know that's easy for me to say, but usually these things are shallow. They have all this emotional intimacy with you and history with you, and that's not something that can just be replaced. And if they try to force that, a lot of times it turns into a rebound, and that feels shallow to them. They don't feel the real connection. They even feel like it's fake, and that can send them back to you. But again, none of this is math. People are not math problems. Sometimes they are very difficult to predict. This is a general principle, though. You need to show them you can stay away. You can leave them alone and you can give them the breakup. If you want them back, this is something you have to do. Before I get to number 3, get more information on my emergency breakup kit. You can do that at myexbackcoach.com/EBK. That's myexbackcoach.com/EBK. It's the emergency breakup kit. It's my guide to help you get your ex back, and it can help you even if you think that there's no longer any hope. It's the emergency breakup kit. And my new course that is just for men is called Masculine Destiny. If you struggle with women, if you want to attract higher quality women, or you want to get your girlfriend back, or you want to save your marriage or strengthen your marriage, go to masculinedestiny.com. That's masculinedestiny.com. It's my new course just for men. It's over 30 lessons on masculinity, attraction, and success with women. And it's just for men. Ladies, there will be a course coming for you, but not yet. Number 3, your silence becomes a threat. Because try to put yourself in the position of knowing someone wants to be with you. It does take some of the urgency away. It does make it to where whatever you do is less impactful. So you can get away with things. You can break up with them. You can have doubts. These are luxury items that someone experiences when they are certain of the other person's love and interest in them. And even if they think that this relationship just probably isn't going anywhere, or I think I'll be happier without them, or I just don't feel the same, whatever excuse it is that they give you or themselves to break up with you. And of course, a lot of times it's literally just breakup excuses that don't mean anything. They just think you can't argue with them. Like, I need to work on myself, as though that would prevent you from being in a relationship and things like that. When attraction's high enough, you'll work on yourself while being in a relationship with someone. So it comes down to attraction falling. And in that process, it underlines the concept that you are easily gotten back, because if their attraction falls, if you think about it, consider someone you are not that attracted to. Don't you think that you would just be a total gift to them if you had interest in them? That they would just be thrilled to have you? Part of the reason you think that is because you are not attracted to them. And so you kind of assume you are more attractive than them. And that's what the dumper thinks. And people like to argue with me about this, but it is true. So many of these excuses people give at breakups, if attraction was high like it was at the beginning of the relationship, they would not care about these things. They would not break up with the person because of these things. And the actual process of breaking up with someone, of having to tell them, I don't want to be with you anymore, I think we should break up, or I want to see other people, or whatever wording they use, that whole process makes them feel like they are more attractive than the other person. It's not because they're a bad person. It's just what happens when they experience the situation. And your silence is actually suggestive to them that that is not true, that their entire premise is not true, that maybe you are more attractive than they thought, that you are not as easily gotten back as they thought. And so even if they aren't in the concerned stage yet, they can look at the situation and see you're not contacting them. And they can say, this silence could mean they are not as interested as I thought. And so it becomes this ominous threat in their mind that, sure, they could be able to deal with it and move on with their life. I'm not telling you that that's an impossibility, but I am saying that this is not an easy road for them if you follow what I'm suggesting, and if this was a long-term relationship that they can look back on and see as a quality one. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if they can see that really there was no good reason to walk away from this relationship and now you seem as though you were moving on with your life, that has to push back to some degree against the way that they are viewing things. And so let day after day pass with your silence. Let that threat sit in their mind. Hopefully it'll preoccupy them. That can happen when you become that kind of mystery. I'm about to talk about that in this next point. Number 4, you are a mystery. When you are silent, you are a mystery because they have no information. And so this can cause them to go into the curiosity phase where they just wonder what's going on with you. Are you moving on? Why are you being so silent? What are you doing? And this is a very natural place for them to go in their mind because they were used to intimacy with you. And by intimacy, I mean they were hearing about your life. This is what happened to me today. This is what will happen in the future. This is how I feel about what has happened. This is how I feel about what might happen. You are giving them the details of your life, and they were giving you the details of their life. So you two shared emotional intimacy. And when that is quickly taken away, their mind notices the absence, and it tries to recreate some of that emotional intimacy. Not because they are sitting around depressed because they lost you or because they are feeling incredible love for you right now, but just because it is quite the change in lifestyle, experience, and even just reality for them that this is quite a bit different. And so the brain seeks to find some sense of normalcy, consistency, and predictability. And so all that to say that they can become quite curious with what is going on with you just because they are used to having emotional intimacy, and it's nice to have that kind of information about someone because you do feel some sense of control, you feel a sense of understanding, and especially as they start to kind of feel that some of this is built on the concept that you will take them back, they want to see something to justify that, to make them feel better. So they will look for little things that maybe look like you're hurting, that maybe look like you're not dating anyone, that maybe look like you were checking up on them and missing them, just all kinds of things like that. So don't post on social media saying that you're hurting or that you're having a tough month, or that you really appreciate all your friends around you during this difficult time. I saw that one recently. Client asked me what I thought of that, and I said, take it down right away. Maybe she hasn't seen it yet. That kind of thing. You want them to have questions about you that they can't find the answers to, because that's what can help create preoccupation, where they just constantly wonder about you, and eventually they just have to interact with you or see you to scratch this itch. And that's exactly where you want to be. Most people think that they have to reach out and you don't trust it, but the people who do are the ones who are more likely to see success in getting their ex back. Number 5, when your ex can really be concerned and worried that you are actually gone and that you're not an option anymore, is that they can start to think they don't know the current you, which is probably something you felt during this breakup. Like you don't even know this person. And it's very frustrating because it actually makes you want to know them. You probably feel that, like you want to bring them close to you, you want to talk to them. What's going on in your head? Why do you seem so different? It's as though you are a stranger. And even though that's a negative thing that's painful, it makes you want to get closer to them, makes you want to figure out this mystery. And that's the same thing that they're going through most likely with you, especially if they thought you can't stay away. Maybe you were in a relationship that was imbalanced and you put them on a pedestal. And I often tell people, when you are in a relationship, make sure both of you are giving equal effort. You're showing equal desire to the other. Both feel appreciated and loved. Because if it starts to be imbalanced, it will impact both people. The person who feels like maybe they are less attractive, that they don't have as much power in the relationship, they will start to do things to try to get that power. Usually they'll just try to endear themselves to the other person. They'll try to do favors. They'll try to compliment the person, things like that. But the person who feels more power or that they are the more attractive one in the relationship, they will do less and they will begin to expect more from the other person. And it can really create sort of this celebrity syndrome where the other person starts to think they're more important. And then that sends them down the road of thinking they are more attractive. And so therefore they're not as attracted to this other person because they are less attractive. Do you see how the connections are made in someone's mind? And that's why it's so important. When I see someone who's in an imbalanced relationship, usually I'm talking to the person who is doing the bribing and the complimenting and the over-the-top effort and things like that because they don't feel that they are as attractive. They feel like they're maybe losing this person a little bit. And usually that's the worst thing that you can do because it only highlights it to the other person. And you want to be in a balanced relationship if you want it to survive. And so if you were that person, maybe you were in the relationship and you felt like you didn't have as much power, you were not as attractive, maybe you felt them pulling away, and you just felt like you were second place in the relationship. That's likely how they saw it too, even if they can't put it into words. They probably felt like they were more admired, like they were the admired one. And if that's the case, and then you don't act that way after the breakup, where you actually seem like you're moving on with your life and maybe they didn't have the kind of power over you that they thought that they would have, that's when now you kind of become this new person. And it can kind of reignite that time during the early days of the relationship, that limerence period where there's all this newness and excitement because you don't know the person. And now there's this new wrinkle and this new curve and this new adventure and this new mystery to have with them. And it seems like it's happening every day. That's some of the appeal of a new relationship. And when they see that after a breakup, that you are defying their expectations, you're different than they thought, they don't know the current you, it can actually cause some of that. And that's another reason no contact can be so powerful. Remember to get my emergency breakup kit at myexbackcoach.com/EBK. It's a guide to help you get your ex back. It's the emergency breakup kit. And if you're a guy, get Masculine Destiny at masculinedestiny.com. This will change your life with women. So thank you for listening to my commercials and for your support. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up. Please share this with people who are going through a breakup. And please leave a comment. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.